Are y'all enjoying summer? You're like, not as much as I want to. It'd be much better if we could go and do something like it. I like to sit around my house and play my ukulele because it sounds like summer. It sounds like vacation, right? Like, it sounds like you should be in Hawaii when you hear that sound, right? That's what it sounds like to me. So I also, we got a lot of free time in summer, so I just sit around the house and I just think about things. And so I thought to start out tonight, I would just share some of PJ's summer ponderings with you. Is that all right if we do that? Just a little of some of my thoughts. Does Adam and Eve have a belly button? I really want to know. I really do. Like, they weren't born. There's no umbilical cord. When I get to heaven, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Like, Adam, let me see. Okay, no, that's kind of weird. I won't do that. But it's one of those things I wonder. Why does fat chance and slim chance mean the same thing? I don't know. Do you know? Isn't that weird? There's a fat chance that this is going to get any better. All right, anyways. Why is it that the guy that invests your money is called a broker? I don't know why that is. That's kind of weird right there. These are the things that I think about. Why are they called apartments if they're all stuck together? Apartments stuck, I don't know. That's just weird to me. If you get in a vehicle and you're going the speed of light and then you turn your headlights on, what happens? I don't know. I just kind of was thinking about that yesterday. Why did they put Braille on drive-through ATMs? I mean, are there blind people driving around, or are the people that are with them like just too much of a jerk to like, no, I'm not going to help you in this moment. I drove you here, but you're on your own. I don't know. Why do we drive in parkways and park in driveways? I don't know. That's just one of those things I was thinking about. Why is it that when you transport something in a car, it's called a shipment? And if you transport something in a ship, it's called cargo? I don't know. Why is that? That's just a weird thing to me. Why is it that your nose runs and your feet smell? I don't know. That's just sort of those weird things. Some of your feet smell. I've been with you at camp. Okay. Why is it whenever you sit up or sit down, the result is the same? I don't know if you thought about that. If you sit up, okay, it's one of those weird things. Okay. If you don't get it, just move on. It's okay. Why is it called a building when it's already built? I was thinking about that. That's weird. It's not. Okay, one more. Do bald people use soap or shampoo on their head? I don't know. I was wondering that yesterday. Okay, so if you know a bald person, why don't you ask them? All right, that's all. There'll be more PJ's Ponderings next week. Okay. So that has nothing to do with our message, so let's go ahead and get that off of there. I'm just, bored during the summer and thinking about fun, weird things. And so, we're not going to talk anything about that for the rest of the night. But I hope that you are having a fun time, maybe as much as possible with the beginning of your, summer's supposed to be fun. That's kind of part of what it's like in high school life. Supposed to have fun in summer. And I just wish you could have fun every day. Like, why can't every day just be fun? Like, that's a good thing to have, is fun in our life. And there is some problems, though, that come about with our goal of having fun that I've noticed. Like, for example, one of our biggest obstacles to fun is people. Okay, now, what I mean by that, now obviously people are what you have fun with, but a lot of times people can be annoying, stupid, ignorant, mean, jerks, and inconsiderate, right? Have you ever experienced this? Okay, if you know anybody that's one of these, look across the room at someone you're social distancing from and say, yeah. Okay. Few of you know them. Okay, I think we all know somebody that is one of these things, okay? And your day can be going really, really great. You can be having this fantastic day, and then all of a sudden walks in Miss Annoying Mouth. Y'all know that person? And like everything she talks. Why are you pointing at yourself? Okay, yeah. They're like a Miss Annoying Mouth, and all they can do is annoy you, and it just ruins your fun. It ruins your day, right? Or you meet somebody, and they're just a jerk. Like, do you know these people? I was at Panda Express one time, okay, over here. I was getting my orange chicken, because sometimes you got to have your orange chicken fix. And so I'm in line, okay, if you imagine, like, here's the desk, okay, that where you order your food, okay? And there's one lady in front of me, and I'm standing behind her, and I'm waiting. And she finishes her order, and she starts to step aside, and I'm next, so I'm going to step up. Well, right before I can take a step, this guy who has come in the door behind me walks right in front of me, steps up, and goes, I'd like some fried rice. And I was like, I'm sitting there, I was like, And so I said, you moron, right? Okay, I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I'm thinking in my head. I was like, actually, this is literally what I did. I went, am I invisible? I said it really soft because I thought, who would just be that much of a moron or that much of a jerk? Like, who does that? Like, don't you know, like, social norms? And so here comes this guy, and he just was a jerk. And then I was in a bad mood for the rest of the time I was eating my orange chicken. And we encounter these people, though, all of our life. And you are going to be around people that are annoying, stupid, ignorant morons. Okay, all these different things. You're gonna encounter them in your life. And it's going to sometimes cause drama. It's going to sometimes cause stress, all these things. In fact, do you know anybody that is like always has drama around them? Do y'all know that person? Like, they're always with drama. And if you don't know that person, by the way, it's probably you. Okay? But we all probably know that person that just always has drama. And then you probably know somebody that never is in drama. Like, they never have the drama around them. They're always just cool. They're chill. They're not in the drama. And here's something I want you to think about, okay? Both the person with a lot of drama and the person with no drama has to deal with these kind of people. But one manages to not have a lot of drama in their life. Both of them are dealing with it, but one of them doesn't have the drama. And here's the thing. It's about how that they respond to those people. See, how you respond to all the different, and I could have a much longer list than this. Probably maybe have an even longer list because you're thinking of a person. But how you respond when things like this happen will determine whether you have drama or peace, or whether you are stressed out, whether you're mad, whether a situation gets worse, whether an argument breaks out. All of that kind of depends on how you respond. I want to point out a couple other things. You know, there's kind of like this side, which is kind of like the stuff they can't help. I probably shouldn't call them stupid, but you know, like some people, they're just stupid and they can't help it. Like, it's not their fault, okay? They're just ignorant. Ignorant's not a bad thing. That just means you just don't know. And they just didn't know that saying that was going to ruin your day, okay? They didn't know any better. Like, they can't help it. They still ruined your day, but they didn't know it, okay? They're just a moron, okay? And I know somebody's going, nuh-uh, okay. My sister, my brother is annoying, and they're annoying on purpose. This is not an accident thing. Okay, this is an on purpose thing. You can move that on to this side, which is like these are the on purpose things. And you meet these people too. They actually like the fact that they're mean. Okay, they do stuff on purpose. They're a jerk. They're inconsiderate. They don't think about the needs of other people. And when you are around them, it makes you want to, do something. Okay, and so we experience these people in our life. In fact, a lot of the times, the ones, y'all keep pointing because you're having to sit next to your siblings because of the social thing. You keep pointing to the person sitting next to you as I say these things. And what I want to point out is really part of the people that we have the most problems with this in is our family. And who do we spend the most time with in the summer? Our family. And so we really kind of want to maybe understand this so that we're not filled with drama all summer long. But here's really a nice thing, okay? Jesus knew that you were going to have trouble with this. In fact, he knew there'd be a lot of this in the world, okay? And so did his disciples. And so we're going to look at something that Jesus said, and we're going to look at something that the Apostle Paul said, and it's going to really help you in your life to have more peace, to have more joy, to overcome things, to save relationships, to save friendships. You're going to see it's going to do a lot of things. So we're going to start with something that Jesus said. But to do this, I actually would like to, I'm going to have a couple people help me. And I want to use you too. You're right here on the front row. That'd be perfect. So y'all come on up. And Brooke, why don't you stand right here? And Nate, why don't you stand right here? And y'all just face each other. Okay, so we're going to do an illustration for everybody. So what we need to do for this illustration is I need you to slap his right cheek right here, okay? So, I mean, you can just, he goes, this is her dream. Okay, now, you got to do it really good because this is for Jesus, okay? And so I just need you, right hand, oh man, make sure you don't nail him with one of those rings. Okay, she's got like all these things. Okay, so just right cheek, don't do it too hard, but do it kind of hard, okay? No, here we go. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Sorry. He's never coming back to Amplify. Okay. So now we got to show the verse and the reason that we did that. Okay, this is something Jesus said. You've heard that it was said, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. All right. So in other words, if somebody does something to you, you do it back. And I don't know about you, but if somebody does like bad to me, what I like to do is do it just a little bit worse. Okay, just a little bit harder. But before we go there, I want to keep reading because, you never want to like take stuff out of context. So here we go. Then he says, but I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other to them also. You don't have to let her slap you again. In fact, you can just go have a seat. That'd be good. But thank you for the illustration. He deserves a prize for that. That was actually a pretty good, I saw his face. Okay, pretty good slap there. Okay, what is he saying? That when you get in a fight, you got to let him beat you up? No, that's not the point of this. This is an illustration that he's giving us. And that when people do wrong to us, what do we want to do? We want to do it right back. When somebody has been a jerk, when someone has been mean, when I've done something to you, what you want to do is immediately right back. Or get even. You gotta get them back in some way. And Jesus is saying, listen, that is not the way my followers behave. That is not the way people who are going to be like me are going to do. And that's certainly not the way he did. And so we're going to learn a different way to respond than, they hit you, you hit them, right? They do something to you, you do something to them. So we're going to look at another passage, and this one was written by Paul. Paul was a guy who did not believe in Jesus. In fact, he was very much against Jesus until he had an encounter with Jesus and his whole life changed. And then he wrote so much of the stuff that we know about how to follow him now. And so he's talking about this very thing. What do we do when people have done wrong to us? And he probably wrote it because he was looking at a church and looking at Christians and going, they don't understand this, so I need to help them understand this. And so he's going to help us understand it because I don't think we understand it. And this is Romans chapter 12. He says, do not repay evil for evil. Okay, this is like, you want payback, right? You want to repay them. You want payback. If they did something to you, you want to get payback. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but as long as it's something that gets them back. I had a friend one time, somebody had done something to him, and he was trying to figure out how to get him back, because that's what, a lot of people want to do. And when he finally thought about it, this was his final solution. He went and he found some dog poop, some fresh dog poop, and he got it scooped up, and he went to this guy's car, and he smashed it all up under the handle. So when the guy walked up and went to open his car, went, poop fingers, okay? And he was like, payback. And you're like, that's a good idea. Paul says don't do that. Okay, no poop fingers, okay, for you. And he says, we don't repay evil for evil. That's not how we live, okay? And he keeps going. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Here he goes. As far as it depends on you, live at peace. And here's the goal. This is what you need to understand. Paul is saying the goal of our reaction when people have done evil is peace. That we are able to have peace in the relationship, in the situation, with this person, or what's going on, that we need to have. The goal is peace. Now, I love that he says, if it is possible, because let's just be obvious. There are some people that it is not ever going to be possible to have peace with. Now, sometimes those are people you have to avoid or stay away from, but this is the important thing. We can't use that as an excuse, because he said, as far as it depends on you. There might be an argument, but as far as it depends on you, as far as what the words that come out of your mouth, as far as what your reaction is, there's going to be peace because of what you did. Now, if they just won't accept it, if they're going to do what they're going to do, that's not on you. As long as far as it depends on you, there's peace. Does that make sense? He keeps going. Do not take revenge, my friends. Now, I want to pause for a second before I keep going. I want you to think about this. Because sometimes we start into this, our first thought is, well, this isn't going to be fair, right? That's kind of what we think. Because they did something to me, and you're telling me, I just let it go. I'm going to do good to them. That's not fair. They're doing wrong to me. How can I just move on? He says, don't take revenge, my friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Lord. Here's what you need to know. If justice needs to be done, God will do it. That's what he's saying. If you will do what is right and not repay evil, and justice needs to be done, there's something that does need to be repaid, he will take care of it. And you have to trust him to take care of it and realize it is not our place to make it, to repay or do those things. That's something that he will do. And I kind of always took this too far. Someone do something wrong to me, I was like, God's going to get you. I don't think that's the attitude he wants from me, but that's the way I felt. He says, on the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. Maybe I should have reworded this. If your brother or sister is hungry, feed him. Okay? If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. He has his own 2 legs. Okay. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. And that's the part you like, right? The burning coals on his head. Okay. Here's what he's saying. Look, if someone comes and they spit on you, you can spit back. That's not the way we're supposed to behave. It's just a spitting match at that point, okay? It's much better to throw coals on them, right? No, this is what he's saying. Hey, if you will do what is right, okay, it actually puts you ahead. This is the way we're supposed to be, okay? And he goes on and he says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And here's the thing, when you start doing the evil back, you have to realize that you yourself have then been overcome by evil. But how do we beat evil? How do you win against evil? And there's a lot of evil in this world, maybe done to you, done to others. How do you overcome evil? He says that you overcome evil with good. So I want to think about one of the common things that we say, okay? And I've said this, something similar to this. You've probably said something similar to this. Maybe not this exact thing, but like this, okay? He did wrong to me, so I did wrong to him. That make sense? Or she lied to me, so I lied to her. She said something bad about me, so I said something bad about her. Does this sound like something that a lot of people say? Does this make sense? Okay? And it seems to make sense. They did wrong to me, so I did wrong back. Okay? So what I want to encourage us to do is to take one of these sentences and take the first half off. So let's just take this one. He did wrong to me, so I did wrong back. Okay? So let's take off the first part. I did wrong. He did wrong, so I did wrong. Okay, just forget the first part. I did wrong. He lied, so I lied. Forget the first part. I lied. Now, is it ever okay for you to say that? I lied. No. Okay, let's make it like a Bible-y extreme. He did evil, like the devil. Okay, he did evil, so I did evil. I did evil. Do you hear the second half of that? And listen, when it's between us and God, the first part doesn't excuse it. We act like it does, and it feels better because we say they did it, so I did it, but that's not okay. See, the way that I treat a person, it should not be based on what they have done. It should be based on what I'm supposed to do, and that is to love people and to treat them right. So we can't make the excuse, they did it, so I did it. My relationship with God is between me and God, and me obeying him is between me and him, not between what they have done. Does that make sense? Yes? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Let's keep going. I got one more verse, okay? Does that make you feel good? One more verse. Here it is. This is probably not Romans. Okay, anyways. Make sure that nobody repays wrong for wrong. Make sure that nobody repays wrong for wrong. I think this is nice because it's not saying evil, and we don't like, nobody thinks that they do evil, okay? He says, make sure nobody pays wrong for wrong. So they've done wrong to you, you're not going to do wrong back. But always try to be kind to each other and to everyone else. Always try to be kind to each other and to everyone else. So kindness is this. Kindness is taking into consideration somebody else's needs, to trying to meet somebody else's needs. That is showing kindness to them. But what we want to do is repay wrong for wrong. But he says to be kind. Now, everybody can be kind to people that are nice to them. You see this all the time, okay? I've been like in the winter, and I've seen a guy, right, and he's with his girlfriend, and it's cold outside, like, it's a late football game or something like that, and it's freezing. And the guy, he's wearing his nice big jacket. He's feeling good. And the girl, she showed up looking all cute, didn't want to wear no jacket, okay? And so she's all walking around, and she's freezing now. And she's like, and so the guy takes off his jacket, right? And he puts it on her, okay? I've done this, okay? Didn't like it, but I did it. And you give it to him, right? Because why? Because guys know how to be kind to a girl they like, okay? When a guy has a crush on a girl, he'll do all kinds of things, okay, to try to get her attention. And we all know how to be kind to our friends. You know how to be kind to your friends. If you don't, that's why you don't have any friends, okay? And so, just so you know. But we all know how to be kind to our friends. This is not talking about that. This is talking about being kind to someone who has done wrong to you. That's different. That's harder. That's why Jesus said, hey, you've heard love your neighbor and hate your enemies, but I tell you to love your enemies. He's saying, hey, we can't do wrong when people have done wrong. What we do is we return with kindness. See, that's how Jesus did. When you think about it, here's Jesus. He's getting arrested, to be taken to be killed, to be crucified, beaten. And the guys come to arrest him, and Peter gets his sword out, swings, and the guy dodges not quite enough, and it cuts off his ear, right? And Jesus tells him to stop. I mean, he could have just been like, props are falling off the wall there. Okay, he could have been like, hey, sorry about that, too bad. I mean, that'd be kind of nice, I guess. But he took it to kindness, and he picked up his ear, and he healed the guy. The very guy who was going to take him to be crucified, he took the moment to be kind to. And why would he do that? I'll tell you why. Because of love. You see, and we need to understand this and have this and get this in our lives. If we don't, we miss out on what God wants us to do. And you need to understand what this can do in your families, what this can do in your relationships. You see, because when we repay wrong for wrong, we hurt our relationships. You hurt your family. You hurt things. It doesn't make things better. Oh, let me just demonstrate it. I almost forgot I had this over here. Let's use this. Okay, so let's say that this old Amplify shirt, okay, it's kind of, I think it'll fit me. Okay, this old Amplify shirt represents your relationship with someone. Let's just say your sister or your brother if you have one. If not, you can pick somebody else, okay? So with your sibling, represents your relationship, okay? So, in comes your brother, okay, or your sister or whoever you're imagining in this scenario, and they're all just, like that, okay? Now, there we go. Now, is this a mess? This is a mess now, okay? It kind of stinks, okay? Now, they've made a mess of the relationship. So what are you going to do? You're going to come in, right? And you're going to try to make things better, right? So there we go. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. Okay, did it get better? No. Okay, did it get worse? Yes. Okay, this is the dumbest illustration you've ever done. Okay, here's the point. You can't clean ketchup with ketchup. Did you know that? Okay. You can't make evil better with more evil. You can't make wrong better with more wrong. You can't make a broken relationship better with more broken actions. You can't make your relationship with your family better if you keep doing the same stuff that they're doing. Someone's got to do something different if you want to repair those things and see those things better. You see, if you want to see things in your family and those things get better in your life, you've got to be this, repaying kindness when wrong is done. And I can tell you something else. This is something that our culture needs right now. They need to see people that know how to do this. And right now, there's a whole lot of craziness going on in our world and in our culture and all that. And I'm sure that, if you watch any news, you see all the stuff that's happening every night right now. And you know that a couple weeks ago, a man named George Floyd was killed. And when I watched that video, it broke my heart. I don't know if you saw it. I hope you did, because it's heartbreaking. And I was mad and sad at the same time. I had all this stuff, and because it was evil, is what it was. It was wrong, and we're like, how do we respond to that? Like, what do you do in that moment in the face of evil like that? Well, I think maybe a way that we can understand that would be listen to a very, very smart man who said this. This is Martin Luther King. He said this: returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Look, there's a lot of darkness right now, and there's a lot of evil out there, and there's a lot of hurting out there. And he said, hey, look, if you just add more hate, and I know that you see some people adding some hate if you've seen the stuff that's happening right now. There's more people that have lost their lives. That is not making things better. That's making more and more hate, right? And so we don't want that. He says that's not it. He keeps going. He says, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can. And I want to tell you something. Light is a who. I'll tell you who light is. Jesus. Jesus is the only light that can drive out this darkness and this stuff. It is through the love of Jesus. See, Jesus is that light, and he shines through us when we love people. When we live love the way he wants us to. We are a light to the darkness. And if we want to be an answer, and maybe in this kind of a situation and the things we see, I'll tell you what the world needs. They need a church. I don't just mean our church. I mean all churches. They need Christians that will step up and be the light. They'll stand up for what is right, and they're going to do it in love, and they're going to do it not repaying hate for hate and evil for evil, but with good and with love. And I tell you what, if Christians would step up and do that, our culture would change. The church could be the leader of the change, the way it should be. But I was just thinking, I know that's out there and that's big, but even in our own life, see, some of you right now, you've got some darkness in your life. Maybe there's some darkness in your family because there's a lot of conflict and there's a lot of problems. You want to begin to drive out that darkness? Let Jesus shine through you and your family. So you'll go home and you'll have to make a decision. And the easy thing to do is when they said that thing again that they know it. Like, okay? When they do that thing, when they whatever, you immediately get to decide, am I going to contribute to the darkness in this relationship, or am I going to shine light in this moment? And I want to encourage you to shine light. You got to start at home if you're going to go shine it elsewhere. So learn to do it there. Some of you, I just want to say, and this may be real personal, but if you really look inside, you have some darkness inside. And what I mean by that is you're holding on to some anger, some stuff with a person that did something to you. They did something to your family. And, okay, you may not have done evil to them, but if the opportunity came, you would. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you've even imagined. You laid in bed, and you imagined what you would do if no one would know. Okay, let me just say, that is destroying your heart, and you need to let that go. Well, it's not fair. God will take care of fair. You take care of what he wants you to do. And this is what's going to happen. If you'll decide, I'm not going to let that darkness, that malice, that grossness stay inside of me. Instead, I'm going to work on the forgiving. And even right now in my own heart, if I could see them, I would decide I would do good. Something is going to happen in you. Peace will start to happen in you. Love will start to happen in you. You will begin to get free of some stuff in you that you don't want. And God doesn't want for you. And it's really easy for me to stand here and say it. It's really hard for you to do. But trust God, ask God to help you with it, and he will. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to pray. And as I'm praying, if there is a person that comes to mind for you that you want to get even with, let me say it this way, that deserves for you to get even with, would you decide right now, would you pray and say, if it's hard for you, then say, God, help me. Help me to learn to forgive this person. Help me to learn to not desire evil. Ask him to help you with that, and he will. Maybe you just need to, right now, as we're praying, say, Lord, I forgive that person, and let freedom come inside you. So I'm going to pray over all of you, and while I'm praying, I want to ask you to pray to yourself if there's something like that going on in you. So, Father, I thank you that you've taught us so much and that you care so much about us, Lord, that we can trust you, Lord, with those who have done wrong to us. Lord, I pray that we would all learn to let go of the evils and the wrongs that have been done to us. Lord, I pray for those that they feel it. They feel that hurt. They feel the pain caused by somebody else. Lord, that you would begin to give them a peace as they let it go. Lord, teach us to be like you, to show goodness and love to those who have done wrong to us. Lord, I thank you for healing in our hearts, healing in this world. Lord, I pray for those that are hurting. Lord, those that are just broken by the things that are happening with George Floyd and the riots and all the things that have happened, Lord, I pray that you would just touch hearts, heal the brokenness in our country. And Lord, let us as the church show your love. In Jesus' name.